Tonight, concerns over a Regina clinic asking its patients for money for faster medical service. How a change to the federal government's temporary foreign workers program is impacting workers and employers in Saskatchewan. And we catch up with a sitting volleyball Paralympian from Melfort as she prepares to represent Canada in Paris.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, August 27th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. I'm Ethan Williams. Thank you for joining us tonight. A subscription service being offered by a Regina health clinic is coming under fire for appearing to privatize health services. And it has some worried about what that could mean for healthcare in the province. Alexander Kwan reports.
Cecilia Rands says a recent email addressed to her daughter from her doctor made her worried. It came with the subject line, "Keep your doctor in practice."
It felt deceptive and manipulative because, it grabbed me emotionally that I was worried that my primary care doctor, who I really like and respect and have a good relationship with, concerned that he was maybe leaving or changing his practice. And instead it was just trying to get money from me and trying to move towards that privatization.
The email sent out by the Albert and Parliament Primary Health Care Centre urges patients to subscribe to a Healthion plan. It can cost between $30 and $50 a month. According to the email, the service provides patients with faster service and access to a second opinion within 2 weeks, as well as an improved patient experience.
I understand the concerns with doctors being overworked and undercompensated, but again, I don't think that should be my responsibility as a patient to supplement those costs. That's why we have a public healthcare system.
For healthcare advocates, the program is a warning shot.
I think a slightly less known and slightly more subtle sort of type of privatization that's been creeping into the Canadian healthcare system.
The clinic has yet to provide a response, but the ability to register with the clinic appears to have been taken down. The CEO of Healthion, the company behind the subscription service, briefly spoke with CBC today. He refused to provide clarity to many of our questions. Health advocates say they are frustrated, but do understand why clinics may be implementing policies like these.
Our healthcare system is in a crisis, and it pushes people to do a lot of different things.
The Ministry of Health says it is now investigating whether the service violates the Saskatchewan Medical Care Insurance Act. Alexander Kwan, CBC News, Regina.
Well, as a new school year looms, Francophone early childhood education centres are thinking about money. They're upset about some new fees on the horizon. There are 10 early childhood education centres across the province operated by the Conseil des Écoles Francescois, or CEF. The centres have never had to pay rent in the past, but earlier this summer, CEF said it will start charging new rental fees. Advocates say this decision could bankrupt some of the centres. Education Minister Jeremy Cockrell says he's in touch with both sides.
It's not uncommon for childcare centres to pay some sort of lease fee, whoever their landlord is around the province, right? I mean, that's fairly standard. It's a relatively nominal increase, or it's a relatively nominal rental charge, to my understanding.
Cockrell says the province will continue to track the potential impact on childcare spaces, but he says the province has no plans at this point to ask CEF to walk back the fee. Well, changes to Canada's temporary foreign worker program are having an impact here at home. The government had loosened foreign worker restrictions during a severe post-COVID labor shortage. It was a decision that led to a spike in the number of low-wage workers. Shlok Talati has more on what this new directive means for Saskatchewan employees, employers, and the economy.
The federal government's decision to revisit its temporary foreign worker program is affecting people in Saskatchewan. Ottawa says employers will no longer be able to hire low-wage foreign workers who are working in areas that have an unemployment rate of more than 6%. In Saskatchewan, that means places like Regina and all of the north. The latest data from 2016 shows temporary foreign workers made up close to 1% of Saskatchewan's working population. The province says it has about 2,000 entries every year under the program.
any measures that are going to strengthen that program integrity framework, I think, are positive, and we will continue to encourage the federal government to take that very seriously.
Some, like Saskatoon Open Door Society CEO Ali Abukar, agree with the directive. But he says it could have been made better by helping people who are already in Canada transition to permanent residency.
When they come here, they already get used to the Canadian culture and know about the community, the environment, and all that. It's easier for them to get a pathway and become a permanent resident.
The federal government, however, says it's also looking to reduce the number of permanent residents Canada accepts each year. They also say there'll be exemptions in the program for some sectors. That includes agriculture. It's an industry that's relied on foreign workers for a long time.
The reason why we're doing this is because the local job market, the people aren't wanting these jobs. You know, it's hard to find 90% of nothing. You know, some people just don't want to do some not so nice jobs or some heavy work.
For some workers, the announcement has them scrambling. One person we talked to says she's been in Canada for more than 5 years, and she was relying on this program to let her stay.
Spending 5 years in a country and then moving back, it's really difficult because you are already have learned a lot of things about the new country. I was 18 when I came here, and then now I'm 23. For 5 years, whatever my personality has developed, it's according to Canada. If I go back to India now, it's going to be difficult to settle down.
Kaur says she's the sole earner in her family and that she sends a part of her monthly income back home. Kaur studied to be an early childhood educator in Canada. It's a skill that she says will lose value if she were to move back. Shlok Talati, CBC News, Regina.
Dozens of Air Canada pilots lined the curb at Winnipeg's airport today to warn passengers they are ready to strike. Air Canada and its 5,400 pilots have wrapped up 2 months of conciliation with no deal. The Airline Pilots Association in Winnipeg says it's hoping to avoid a strike.
What we're looking for in this is that we've been behind a 10-year contract that's now ended, and we're just looking to get the recognition and the compensation that all of our peers across North America get.
Boisonneau says pay, pension, and quality of life are the main issues. The pilots could go on strike as early as mid-September. Air Canada passengers who have booked flights around the possible strike date will have some flexibility in rebooking their travel. Well, first it was self-checkout, now self-bagging has become a growing trend in Canada's grocery stores. A CBC News investigation reveals both the stores and the customers are contributing to the change. Sophia Harris has the details.
Cashiers at this small grocery chain do the bagging, even when customers bring their own bags.
We're a very traditional grocery store. We scan everything for the customer, we bag it, we take it out to their car.
But at many grocery stores, there now appears to be an expectation customers bag their own goods, even in the cashier lane.
Did you guys pack your own groceries today?
Yes, we did. That's the norm now.
It became the norm over the past several years, following government regulations banning plastic bags, prompting shoppers to bring their own.
So once we have our own bags, I think the idea is just to pack it ourselves.
But some shoppers aren't happy with the shift. There are dozens of complaints on social media, questioning why cashiers at major grocery stores like Loblaws, Sobeys, and Walmart aren't automatically packing customers' goods.
They just expect you to do it.
How do you feel about that?
Well, it's ridiculous. Like, what am I getting 5% off? Am I getting anything?
Sophia Berdusis worked as a Loblaws cashier during the plastic bag era, so she bagged everyone's groceries.
It used to be part of the grocery experience, and now I feel like it's just one more thing that they're taking away. You know, they're raising prices, we're getting less.
Sobeys told CBC News its bagging services depend on the store, region, and staffing. Walmart and Loblaws say their cashiers are happy to help with the bagging. But some experts say cashier lineups do move faster when customers do their own bagging, which means grocers can hire less staff.
I think we're being trained not to expect bagging, and we've sort of fallen into that trap. Largely, I think this is a labor-based initiative The real incentive is to get you through as quickly as possible so that we can serve the next customer.
So if you want your groceries bagged, choose a store that automatically offers it, or buck the trend by asking for help. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, a busy day in Wascana Park in Regina. People definitely taking full advantage of the sun and warm weather, even if it was a bit windy. Things are about to change, though. Tyreek Reed will bring us our cooler and rainier forecast when we come back. A rare but potentially deadly virus has some communities in Massachusetts on high alert. The virus is spread by mosquitoes and usually affects horses, but it can spread to humans, and one man has now died in the U.S. Allison Northcott has more on that and the risk here at home.
Several towns in Massachusetts are now critical risk zones for a serious mosquito-borne illness.
I don't know if I wouldn't go out. I'd probably just wear long pants and long sleeves.
Communities across the U.S. state are trying to prevent the spread of eastern equine encephalitis after a rare case was reported in a man in his 80s.
Headache, a fever, but because of the inflammation of the brain, you can have a decreased level of consciousness and seizures.
Infectious disease specialists say it can be dangerous and deadly.
It's a pretty catastrophic infection. It can cause a very, very severe syndrome of encephalitis, which means inflammation of the brain, and it carries a rather high mortality rate.
Officials in Massachusetts are spraying widely, some towns closing parks and fields and urging residents to avoid outdoor activities during peak mosquito hours from dusk until dawn.
Please don't do this to our kids.
800 people signed a petition. Health Canada says the last reported human case of the disease in this country was in 2016. But health officials in the city of Ottawa say a horse there recently tested positive. So they're encouraging residents to use insect repellent, wear light-colored long pants and long sleeves, make sure windows and doors have screens, and remove or empty standing water sites around your home. The virus has no cure or vaccine for humans, but Canadians shouldn't panic, says this expert.
Outbreaks of this particular disease in the United States and in New England seem to be only very small handfuls of cases.
Canada's public health agency monitors mosquito-borne diseases, but it says unlike West Nile virus, human cases of eastern equine encephalitis don't have to be reported to the agency, and there's no formal surveillance system in place. Allison Northcott, CBC News, Montreal.
The weather update is brought to you by Capital GMC Buick Cadillac. Employee pricing is on now.
Weather specialist Tyreek Reed joining us now. Not a whole lot of mosquitoes to worry about here, Ty, because of all the wind.
Yeah, exactly, Ethan. It's very windy outside. I literally had to hold onto my hat during my lunch break. It actually almost threw off my head into the middle of the street because, yeah, those gusts right now are gusting at around 50 kilometers an hour in areas like Regina. Seeing that in Saskatchewan, but of course, as we head into the Churchill region and the far north, those gusts are between 50 and 60 kilometers an hour. So we're all definitely holding on to our hats, and we'll probably have to continue doing so as we head into tonight because these wind speeds are going to be sticking around with us. But it's definitely helping some of us cool off a little bit right now to the far north, seeing those temperatures in the low 20s, and as we head down into south and central Saskatchewan, seeing those temperatures in the upper 20s, even low 30s in some areas for daytime highs. So those winds are definitely welcome for some of us who are definitely feeling that heat this afternoon. Now, we started off our day with mostly dry conditions in the province, but we do have this system of low pressure that's making its way in from Alberta. You can see that to the west right now. We are tracking that precipitation, and that's going to make way for some rainfall throughout most of south and central Saskatchewan as we head into the overnight. So waking up tomorrow morning, we could be seeing that system in the west, and then as we head into tomorrow afternoon, that's when that's really going to start to spread throughout most of central and also southern Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, and we could see some severe weather activity with that as well. So we'll be keeping our eye on any watches or warnings for thunderstorms because of this. Heading into Thursday is when we'll finally see that system move out of the province, and then we'll be met with mostly dry weather conditions as we head into the rest of the week. Now let's take a look at the rainfall accumulation that comes along with this. Most of that rainfall will be to areas further west. We're going to be seeing at around 21 millimeters of rain in areas like North Battleford. We don't have to worry about much rainfall here in Regina, but further east we could see that get to around 10 millimeters in areas like Moosomin and even 11 in Yorkton. So we definitely want to get those umbrellas ready. We're also tracking that air quality and those smoky conditions in the north. Because of that, we do still have some air quality advisories in effect, mostly to the northeast. As we head into tomorrow, as that system starts to come in, we are going to be dealing with those windy conditions more, and that's going to continue on Thursday as well. So those winds are definitely going to be an issue for some of us throughout the rest of the week. Right now, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast here in Regina. Still seeing that rainfall on Wednesday and Thursday, but as we head into the weekend and the week ahead, being met with mostly dry conditions, so you'll definitely get to enjoy that long weekend and this last weekend of August. Let's take a look at Saskatoon. Very similar conditions. We are going to be seeing that rainfall tomorrow and on Thursday, but as we head into the rest of the week, we're seeing mostly dry conditions, and those daytime highs will be in the low 20s, so right at seasonal. Ethan?
Well, I don't mind a little bit of rain, Ty, but good to see it's probably going to clear out for the long weekend.
Exactly.
All right, thanks so much.
No problem.
We want to show you these stunning images of the wild side of Canada. These are from Canadian Geographic's Wildlife Photography Competition. Sonny Parker from Yukon won the grand prize for his amazing photos of critters in the north. The judges looked at more than 10,000 photos in 4 categories: aquatic life, flora and fungi, terrestrial life, and things with wings. The winning photos will be published in an upcoming issue of Canadian Geographic. Stay with us. We're back after the break. Welcome back. Well, the Paralympics are just a day away from kicking off in Paris, and one Paralympian from Saskatchewan is ready to represent Canada. Julie Cozen lost her left leg below the knee in a lawnmower accident when she was younger, but she soon discovered the sport of sitting volleyball. This is now her second Paralympic Games after Team Canada placed 4th in Tokyo in 2021.
This time our goal is to place on the podium, and we usually meet our goals, so I'm pretty confident we'll meet our goal again, which is even more exciting. And especially this time for Paris, like, our family is all able to come and watch this time, so I think it's going to be a whole new experience versus Tokyo. I'm the only team member from Saskatchewan on the team, so I had to get creative. Brought my boyfriend out. He's not very good. He's not very flexible to sit on the ground, so he was just kind of like a pylon to block. But yeah, it was just like trying to find people in the volleyball community to that have never done it before, but just to come and try it out and help me out. Court's smaller, the net is shorter. You can block serves, but other than that, it's pretty much all the same, and your butt can't lift off the ground or else it's called the lift, and it's a point for the other team. It's super fast because the ball doesn't go as high in the air, and it takes longer for you to get to the ball. So it is very quick. I think it was like 3 or 4 months after my accident that I went and tried out. And yeah, just like seeing people with like amputations and seeing how easily they got along, like it was really helpful for that. And they were able to answer like a lot of questions that I had that maybe I didn't ask the doctors and stuff like that. The pros definitely outweigh the cons now. There's still struggles in day-to-day life, but like overall, it's not that bad. And I got to do so many of these great opportunities in light of what happened.
This point gap that's
the Paralympics are like such a big movement, and like I think our team has focused a lot on trying to get across the message of what it means to be a Paralympian, what the Paralympics are all about. And like right now we're kind of like fighting the the battle where, like the Paralympics are parallel to the Olympics. They aren't the same. They're not the other Olympics. It's its own identity and it's its own thing, and it's really special in what it's all about.
And Team Canada has announced its flag bearers for tomorrow's opening ceremony of the Paris Paralympic Games. Champion swimmer Katrina Roxon, who is competing in her 5th Games, and wheelchair basketball star Patrick Anderson, who is in his 6th and final Games, will lead Canada's parade of athletes. Roxon has 1 Paralympic gold and 1 bronze. Anderson has 3 golds and 1 silver. The country's Paralympic team has 126 members. Canada won 21 medals at the last Games in Tokyo. And you can watch the Paris Paralympics opening ceremony tomorrow starting at 11:30 a.m. local time on CBC TV. You can also stream it on CBC Gem and the CBC Paris 2024 app. Well, it's not quite back to the drawing board, but for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, it is time to hit the reset button as a 5-game winless streak has dropped them to the 500 mark. The good news is the team's 5-5-1 record is still good enough for first place in the West Division, with 6 of the final 7 games coming against their Western rivals. But after these last few weeks, there is some cause for concern. The Riders' head coach says their playoff future is in their own hands.
We got to find ways to just finish games. That's everybody, myself included. That we got to be better. But again, as the football gods continue to do, they leave us with the keys in our hands to really drive this thing. So learn, push forward. It's Labor Day, so everybody's gassed up. I thought we had a great day of practice today.
And that crucial Labor Day Classic is this Sunday at 5 p.m. against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The Riders announced today the game is officially sold out. It's the beginning of the home and home series with Winnipeg, finishing next week with the Banjo Bowl. And Tyreek is back with one last look at our forecast.
Thank you, Ethan. Well, we're definitely going to be met with those warm temperatures again tonight, but also those windy conditions will continue. We'll see those gusts at around 50 kilometers an hour tonight here in Regina. Waking up tomorrow morning to lots of sunshine, but still very windy conditions. This is going to continue throughout most of the day tomorrow. And we'll see those daytime highs in the low 20s as we prepare for that rainfall to come in and spread throughout most of South and Central Saskatchewan tomorrow afternoon. In Saskatoon as well, seeing those warmer temperatures tonight, waking up tomorrow morning to the same thing with those gusts at around 40 kilometers an hour. And as we head into tomorrow afternoon in Saskatoon, those showers will be coming in, Ethan.
Hey, the not so calm before the rain then.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks, Tyreek.
No problem.
And finally tonight, move over Popeye. A Saskatchewan woman has one of the strongest arms in the world. Peyton Pickering recently took home a silver medal in the World Arm Wrestling Championships in the Republic of Moldova. The 19-year-old competed in the 70-kilogram category. Pickering trains with the Bridge City Pullers in Saskatoon. She first tried the sport after following her dad to a practice.
It's just a really good community and support system, I guess, where everybody is always looking out for everybody and helping everybody push themselves. And that was the foundation of my passion, my actual passion for the sport, was just how awesome everybody in the club was.
Pickering says she's already looking for ways to improve her strength and technique for next year's World Championships in Bulgaria, and she is confident her parents and teammates will be helping her every step of the way. Ooh, hurts my arm. That is it for us tonight. For news anytime, you can always head to cbc.ca/sask, subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, or download the CBC News app. We're back tomorrow at 6. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great night.